everybody, welcome back to Heart Breathings. It is truly one of my favorite times of year, not Halloween and not just the holidays, but planner season. I will tell you though that sometimes it can just feel completely overwhelming because there are so many different types of planners, so many different types of systems out there that it's hard to know what is the right type of planner for you. And I'm so passionate about how much the right planner system can help you be more organized, more joyful, and just more in control of your schedule, that I wanted to create a planner series, a video series for you guys, talking about the different types of planners, how to plan on a budget, how to choose the right type of planner for you, and all of that good stuff. There will be at least 4 videos in this series, and today what we're going to discuss is the different types of planner bindings and the different types of systems and layouts. So if you're interested in hearing more about this, I hope that you will subscribe to this channel if you're not already subscribed, and stay tuned because we are going to dive right in. So I'm going to start with what is the system that I'm currently using and what is really the system I started with and have now come back to, which is 6-ring binder system. Now, most of the different systems that I'm going to cover today come in a variety of sizes, have different types of interiors in terms of layouts and that sort of thing, lots of different price points. So there's going to be a lot of options, but I'm going to cover the most basic of the choices that you'll have to make. So with the 6-ring binders, the most popular sizes are the personal size, which is the small one. It's very purse size if you wanted to put it in your bag or your backpack, or the A5 size. I like the A5 size because the personal size is a little bit too small for me, but this is great for on the go. And we'll discuss more about what's the right type of planner and what things you need to take into consideration in the next video. But a 6-ring binder is basically just this. It has 2 sets of 3 rings that you open just like this, and you can pull the pages in and out. Now, this type of system is extremely customizable because basically you could just have an empty binder and you can fill it with whatever you want. Now, you can either buy a pre-made system that comes with it that is just like a KikiK that comes with the monthly or the weekly layouts and the pages are already in there, or you can just purchase the binder and then you can put your own pages inside, which is what I've done with this A5 size. And if you follow my channel, you'll know that I actually set up a different color and decorations, like with these dashboards and tabs for my A5 binder planner every single month. And the rings sometimes will come in gold or silver or white or black. So it's just totally something that you can pick the colors and the styles that you want. And one of the advantages of this type of system is that you can, like I said, switch it out every month. So I can take the basic system that I'm using inside my planner, which is a printable system, and I can put it in a pink planner or a purple one or a blue one. And it's very easy to customize based on the season or the time of year. So, sorry, I can hear my baby crying. I think she's waking up, so I'm gonna have to go get her. Whew, okay, I'm back. Let's see if we can get through this. So you can customize this with different sections and different types of decorations and different systems. So I have both a goal setting planner in here that I designed myself called the HB90 method, but I also have monthly, weekly, daily pages. I have folders, bookmarks, all kinds of stuff. So this is the basic system. It has 6 rings. Now, when it comes to some of the most popular brands for this type of binding, you will find Filofax, which are almost all made of leather. Also, you have some like this, which is Webster's Pages, which is faux leather. Another one is Carpe Diem, which is faux leather. One of my favorite brands is KikiK, and they come in leather or faux leather and a lot of different price ranges. Now, similar, but not the same, of course, is the basic 3-ring binder. Same type of system where you open up the rings and you can insert, you just punch the pages and you can insert and change them out. You've got just the basic 3-ring binder that you can use as well. Now this, most of us in the United States at least use these all through school, and you can find them in half size or you can find them in this basic letter size. And this is a much more affordable option than the 6-ring binders, but of course this bigger one is harder to carry around. And this is all stuff we'll be looking at in the second video of this series. Another type of binding is the disc bound system. Now basically a disc bound system is made up of discs like this. They're just round discs, sometimes plastic, sometimes metal, sometimes they're small, sometimes they're like this, and sometimes they're the big expander rings. They usually come in 3 different sizes. And basically what you do with a system like this is you have pages that are punched with this sort of mushroom shaped punch. And then you can put the pages on and off the discs. Now, when the discs have nothing on them, they're just like this. Now, one of the most popular systems of the disc bound planners is the Happy Planner. You can find these at Michael's, Joann's, Hobby Lobby, and lots of other craft stores, as well as online at Amazon. And they're reasonably priced. And it's just a fun system because, again, even though it is a full planner system with the monthly and weekly layouts, you can customize this more than you can, say, the coiled or wire O type systems that we'll look at in a minute. So as long as you have the hole punch that goes with this, you can print out your own pages, you can put photos in here, and you can customize it a lot more to match your own system. You can also customize it by changing out the colors of the rings, the size of the rings, the covers, and all kinds of things like that. Now, the Happy Planner comes in 3 different sizes. So you have this classic size, you have this big size, which is more of the just basic letter size, which I love this size. And one of the biggest advantages to this size is that you can print out your own letter size pages, punch them and put them in without having to cut them down. Whereas with the classic or the mini size, you do have to cut the pages down to fit into the planner. Now, these Happy Planners, sometimes you can also find covers like this, which is called their deluxe cover. This is another faux leather cover, because one of the disadvantages to a disc system like this is, if you can see, if you move it around like this, it is a little bit more flimsy because you're just relying on these discs. Also, if you were to just throw this into your purse, and if you have a lot of stuff in your purse or your book bag like I do, then the pages would tend to get messed up. So I personally, if I'm going to put it in my backpack, have a cover like this, or I have this Happy Planner that I use for a meal planner, and this always stays on my kitchen counter. It doesn't travel with me because otherwise the pages could fall out and that sort of thing. But another advantage like this and the 6-ring binder is that you can pull these pages out. So you don't have to worry about, like, say you're writing close to this disc and, you know, it gets a little bit awkward to write there. You could just pull this page out and write as close to those discs as you want. Whereas we'll look at the Erin Condren or other types of coil bound systems where you can't remove that coil, you can't remove the pages. So it can be a little bit of an annoyance for people that are either left-handed or that don't like writing close to the coil. So we'll go through all of that stuff in this video. Just to briefly mention some other brands, even Martha Stewart has her own brand of disc bound notebooks. And so you've got this one, which is, this is Martha Stewart, or this one, which is a Tool notebook, and they make some of the most beautiful ones. Now, I don't know for sure that something like Tool, which you can get at Office Depot, has planner inserts, but they do have these beautiful covers, and I've actually put rose gold Happy Planner discs with it. But you could use this cover and then buy printables on Etsy or somewhere else and insert them into here to make your own custom style planner. And again, Tool and some of these other types of planners similar to this come in various sizes. Since we're talking about customizable systems, let's move on to a traveler's notebook. Now, when it comes to traveler's notebooks, we're talking about just about every shape and size you could imagine. So it's highly customizable and there are lots of options. We could do a huge video just on the different types of traveler's notebooks, but I'm going to keep it simple and just show you the ones that I have. So a traveler's notebook is often a cover, sometimes leather, sometimes not, that has strings in the middle similar to this, where you can take notebooks and put them in. So you can carry multiple notebooks at a time. So with this system, you can't necessarily pull out individual pages, but you can pull out and replace individual notebooks. So this is a Chic Sparrow. This again is A5, which is my preferred size. I just really enjoy this. So if you see, this one, like most, has 4 different strings or bands. I created this with scrapbook paper and a laminator, and it's just like a little booklet form that I stuck things on top of. And all you do when you're creating your traveler's notebook is you put whatever you want inside these bands. And usually you'll go and try to find the center of your notebook, depending on whatever kind of binding you have, and you will put it inside the binding like that, and now you've got a notebook. So there's one, I've got another set of dashboards and a second notebook, a third set with a third notebook. I just have that stuck inside, and then I have also a fourth notebook. And some of them, like this one, have pockets in the front or back. You can actually sometimes find them with more than 4 bands to it. Sometimes they have 6. Sometimes people do what is called a jump band, where they add an extra notebook on by combining bands. But sometimes they'll also have this pocket section in the front. But basically, this is a system where you can use a series of often thinner notebooks or inserts. So it doesn't even have to be a notebook. You can print out, say, 8.5 by 11 sheets and fold them in half and put them on the band. So it's kind of like a way to use different booklets. So a lot of people will use traveler's notebooks to print their own inserts, sometimes creating their own covers for the notebooks that they've printed out themselves. Or you can find notebooks in the size that you're looking for, and you can use those. So this is an A5, like I said, and you can also customize with pretty charms like this. I got these from a brand new Etsy shop called Dragonfly and Acorn, which I'll link down below if you're interested in their products. They're really beautiful, especially if you're using traveler's notebooks. Another size, you can see that this is the Erin Condren On The Go Folio, and I don't even know exactly what size this would be called, but you can see that it's a little bit shorter and less wide. So it's just a little bit smaller than A5 size, and they have their own customizable, what they call petite journals. So this is a system that you wouldn't have to customize really very much. You could just buy it, and then you would just choose from a ton of different notebooks to put inside. So with Erin Condren, they have, this one is a wellness log that has like a lot of weight loss or meal planning in it. This one is a self-care journal. This one is a gratitude journal. I've actually been using this one recently. And then this last one is a quarterly journal that has daily pages in it. So they have tons of other things like blank notebooks and other types of logs or pregnancy journals and just all kinds of different things, medical journals. So very customizable in that you can choose the different notebooks, but you can't pull individual pages out in the same way that you could with those other bindings. Just to show you a couple of other sizes, these are also from Chic Sparrow. Now this Erin Condren folio is vegan leather. It's not real leather, but all of the Chic Sparrow is genuine leather. So this is her composition size. She doesn't carry these very often, but this will hold a full composition size notebook in the jump or in the bands. No pockets in this one. This one is, I believe, maybe the passport size. I can't remember what size this is, but this is some inserts that I purchased for it from, I believe, Yellow Paper House. And it's got a running log when I was hoping I was going to be running, a password keeper, a book review notebook, another type of like spending log, and then just a checklist log. And then the final one is just a dot grid. So you can see with this one, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different bands in it. So this was something I bought a few years back from Chic Sparrow as well. So you've got even more sizes than just these. So lots of different ones. And some of the most popular traveler's notebooks that you'll find out there in the planner community are Chic Sparrow, like I have with these, or also Foxy Fix is another one. And there are even more, like I said, tons of different designs out there. There are also traveler's notebooks that are much slimmer. It might be B6 is the size, I'm not sure, but it's kind of like this size, but taller. So lots of different sizes, lots of different options, and you can customize it depending on what notebook. So you could have a different notebook every single month or several different notebooks and switch them out consistently. Okay, moving along. So another type of binding for planners is a coil binding. So these are all Erin Condren planners, and they have really nice metal coils that you can get in gold, platinum, which is silver, or rose gold. I don't have any of the rose gold to show you, but these are really sturdy coils, and all of the pages of the planner are already coiled onto this planner. So these types of planners with the coil, there's no way to open them up. There's no way to just pull pages off of it, at least not as easily. So these are pretty much as they come is how you're going to use them. Now, Erin Condren does have something called coil clip connectors, which are little plastic pieces that you can put pages onto and put in here. But if you used a lot of those to try to you know, put in a ton of customized pages, the planner would get way too bulky. So you could do a few customized pages, but for the most part, the planner is going to be exactly how you find it. So there are lots of different insides to these, which I'll talk about at the end of this video, but you can basically see that the coil binding is, you know, something you're probably very familiar with. Some people would also call it spiral bound. So they have at Erin Condren, and a lot of other spiral bound planner systems have both this size, which is basically the same size as that classic Happy Planner. It's not an A5 size and it's not half letter. It's actually bigger than that. And they call this their classic. Then you've got the bigger size, which is basically letter size. So this again is just as big as a letter size piece of paper. So that is coil bound, and you can find a lot of different brands of planners in this type of coil binding, and sometimes they're metal and sometimes they're more like this, which is a plastic spiral or coil binding. Some of the most popular brands for this are Erin Condren, Plum Paper Planner, and also Michaels has a set of coil bound planners called their Recollection planners. So these are quite popular, but they're not as customizable. So if you're looking for a system that's kind of come as you are, this is a good system for you. However, another disadvantage, especially for lefties, I've heard is, you know, if you're constantly writing on this left or right side of the page, this coil can get in the way. Now, sometimes you can turn your page like this so it doesn't stick up as much as it would if it was flat like this. You can see that coil is, you know, depending on where you are in the planner. But some people who are left-handed or who don't like writing near the coil, unlike the other types of bindings where you can just pull the pages out, this one you can't do that. So it can be hard to write close to the coil. So think about that. It might be something that bothers you. So another type of binding that is very similar to the coil is something people call wire O or O-ring binding. So instead of being a coil where it's spiraled around, so you can see the difference is that this is a single coil that goes all the way through. So if I were to unspiral this, it would just be a giant coil, kind of like a slinky. Whereas this type of O-ring binder, it's an individual ring for each one. So it feels very similar in the way the pages turn, that you can turn it back like this and give it a slimmer profile, but it's just a different type of binding. And often they are not as high up in terms of the profile. Like when you set it down, the coil binding sometimes will lift up higher, whereas the O-ring or wire O lays a little bit more flat to the page. Now, I wish that I had my simplified planner from Emily Ley, because that is a very traditional wire O binding. However, I cannot find it since we moved. I'm just not sure where it is. So I don't have it to show you, but this is just a planner I found at Big Lots that has the wire O. This is another one that has the wire O, but these are white. And I found, this is Pop-In brand. I found this at Staples, and it again has individual wires for each slot in the page. To show you a bigger size one, and you can see sometimes it's got a kind of a little indent here on one of the sides to make the pages turn more easily. This is not a planner, it's just a notebook that I've been using, but it gives you an idea again of the bigger wire O. Now, often the planners that come in wire O are either going to be this kind of small half letter size or even smaller than half letter, or they'll be, again, this same traditional classic size as the Happy Planner and the Erin Condren planner. This is just a very popular size. And I don't off the top of my head remember exactly what this is. It's like 7 by 9 about, but I'll pop it onto the screen. Wire O bindings are often on planners with this sort of hard cardboard type cover that you can here is just paper, whereas the Erin Condren ones are made of plastic, but you can find all different kinds of brands and all different kinds of styles with this wire O. Some of the more popular one, I would say the two most popular wire O bound planners are the Simplified Planner, which is a daily planner from Emily Ley that has, which is a daily planner from Emily Ley, or the Day Designer, which is another daily planner. And I'm sorry, I don't have either one of those to show you. Okay, so the final type of binding we're gonna talk about has a lot of different names and a lot of different materials that are used to do it. I call it perfect bound, but I don't know if that's the technical term. Feel free to comment down below if you know a better term. This one, for example, is more of a sewn binding. Little booklets are sewn in, whereas this one that was from Amazon is more glued in. But basically the functionality of it is the same, that you open it up and the pages are stuck in exactly the way they are. You can't open it in any way. You can't uncoil it. It's just however it comes is how it comes. So these are kind of tricky because if you get something like this one that is just a dot grid journal, it's extremely customizable because it literally is a blank canvas. I don't know if you can see those dots in there, but this is a dot grid journal that I got from Walmart, and it's 100% customizable. So this is what a lot of people use for bullet journals. Now you can't add in a lot of pages unless you glue them down, but you can draw in whatever you can imagine. There are other types of planners that already have form to them or format to them. Hobonichi is one of the more popular types of this type of planner, and I have a couple different of the Hobonichi to show you. So this is the Hobonichi Weeks, which is very slim, and these all have Tomoe River paper in them, which is just beautiful to write on. And this is just a weekly planner. It has the weeks on one side and then kind of a notes grid page on the other side. So it also has a ton of notes pages in the back. So you can customize the way you decorate this, but unlike the binder or the disc system, you can't just add printed pages into it, like I said, unless you're going to glue them down or draw them out yourself. So this is the weeks size. This is the cousin size, which again is A5. I have one for next year that I'll be showing a little bit more in detail in my 2020 planner lineup video, but here's one that I used last year. So you can see this is a daily planner and has a little bit of form to it. It doesn't have a ton of things already drawn in, but it is a daily planner, and you can see that it has this sort of sewn binding as well. So this is what I would call perfect bound or sewn binding, and you can't add in a lot of pages or customize it other than the decorating and the drawing that you do inside. So those are A5, and then they also have their just classic Hobonichi, which is an A6 size, which is much smaller. It's also a daily planner, and you can put these inside various cases like this. Another version, like I said, this was a planner that Lisa Jacobs used to do called Your Best Year, but I believe she's stopped doing that now. But she used to publish these on Amazon, so it's more like a workbook, and it doesn't exactly lay flat unless you really like move that binding. So this is another thing. So if you buy a lot of planners that are this sort of glued binding from, say, Amazon that someone self-published, you're gonna potentially have issues with it not laying flat. The Hobonichi, however, because of the sewn binding, does lay pretty darn flat because it's sewn, but these glued bindings you need to be wary of because they are hard to get them to lay flat without like really breaking in that binding. Another one that has just come on the market is Erin Condren's Soft Bound Life Planner. So this is an hourly, and it actually lays pretty flat. Again, it's a sewn binding instead of a glued binding. And again, it's the same sort of thing in that you cannot add in your own pages. Like you can't take it apart, pull the pages out, put them back in, but this is also something that is not going to potentially get as damaged as, say, something that has a coil, or, you know, it might be easier to carry around than something with the coil or something with discs where the pages might fall out. This type of bound planner, whether it's sewn binding or glued binding, you can pretty much find them all over the place in lots of different types of brands. Again, you can find a lot of these that are self-published on Amazon with different types of customizable systems. Erin Condren, like I said, has this new one, and then they had a hardcover last year, but now they've got this soft bound one, which I think is nicer. And then, like I said, one of the more popular ones on the market that is like this is the Hobonichi. Another one that is very popular like this that I think comes in both A5 and maybe more letter size is the Passion Planner. Now, somebody can comment down below, but I think maybe the Panda Planner also has this type of binding. That's all the types of bindings that we're going to discuss. Now, I will have a video coming up on Sunday that talks about how to choose and decide which type of planner is best for you, because like I said, I went through, obviously I have all of these to show you because I do use a lot of planners in a year, but I also have tried so many different things looking for what was right for me. And I finally came up with a way to sort of make a decision once and for all, and it has helped me tremendously. So I'm going to share that with you guys coming up in my next video. Okay, for the next section of our discussion on Planner 101, we're going to just talk about the different types of contents of planners. So now that we've gone over the different bindings that you have available, let's talk about what types of things you're going to find inside all of these planners. So one of the most popular, probably the most popular type of planner is a weekly planner. So what that means is you don't have a page per day, but you do have weekly spreads. So for example, in this one, you have a weekly spread or a week on 2 pages where it takes you from Monday that week all the way to Sunday that week with maybe some notes or something added to it. So for example, the traditional way that a lot of planners are laid out is that you'll have a monthly spread, which usually takes up 2 pages or both sides of the spread, that shows you just a traditional monthly calendar. And then every time you turn the page, you'll get to a new week. So each week will be on its own spread. Now, how the weeks are set up can vary. So for this one, this is a horizontal spread where you have lines here and the days themselves are arranged horizontally. So one of the ways you can use this, for example, is like I have used it in my pregnancy planner where I was more journaling, but it leaves a lot more room to actually write out your thoughts. But this is horizontal weekly layout. Another type of weekly layout that you'll find is the hourly weekly layout. So here we have, again, the monthly spread. And then when you turn the page, we have a weekly spread. Now these days are arranged vertically and they're broken up by time. So this goes from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. When you find hourly planners, you can find all different time ranges. Some of them have from midnight to midnight. Some of them have from early in the morning till evening. Some of them go later. Some of them start earlier. So there's a lot of variety with that. Like Erin Condren, which this is, used to have last year, their time was broken up into 30-minute segments. Now they've switched it to hour-long segments. So hourly can have a lot of variations inside of that type of content. But this again is a weekly planner with an hourly layout. Another very popular type of layout in a weekly planner is the vertical layout. Now this was something I believe Erin Condren came out with first, but I'm not sure. It's something that Happy Planner uses and Michael's Recollection Planner uses, but the days are arranged vertically. So they go from top to bottom like this instead of horizontally. And this type of vertical planner, most of the time when someone says vertical planner, they're talking about having 3 boxes going from top to bottom per day. And a lot of people like to divide these based on like morning, noon, and night, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or, you know, using the boxes for something different. So this could be like your videos, your social media, and your house chores, whatever it is. You could separate those boxes in that way, or you could do something more like what I used to do when I was using this planner more often, which is just use it as one long box going down and just kind of white out the lines or the boxes. But this is a vertical layout. So when it comes to weekly planners, those are the 3 that you'll find most often: vertical, horizontal, and hourly. Then you also have monthly planners. A monthly planner is a planner that only has the month and does not have the weeks having their own pages. So you've just got a monthly spread, and then some of them, when you turn the page, it'll just be the next month and the next month and the next month with nothing more in it, and it'll just be those 12 spreads of the year, and that's it. Some of other ones, like the Erin Condren monthly planner, this is called their deluxe monthly planner. Let me move to ones that haven't been used yet so you can see it. So you move to, say, February. They have a dashboard here where you can write out different things. You can customize this. Then they have the monthly layout. So you've got the month there. But instead of weekly pages where you have those weeks on 2 pages, you've got notes pages that you can use for whatever purpose you want. Then in their deluxe planner, when you get to the end of the months, They just have notes pages that you can use in different ways. What I really love about the deluxe monthly planners is that it's great for planning out things like your social media or your blog posts or your writing schedule, because instead of having to write something in every week, you just need that monthly overview and then lots of notes pages. So that's a monthly planner. And again, they're going to be all kinds of different monthly planners. And then the final type of planner that you have is a daily planner. So again, this type of planner will come in lots of different bindings and different things like that, but you basically have a page per day. Most daily planners, now I wish I had one to show you, like the simplified planner, has the monthly spread, but no weekly spread. So it has the monthly spread, and then when you turn the page, it has a day per page. So it would be Monday, Tuesday, and then I think they combine Saturdays and Sundays onto one page. It's the same, I believe, with this smaller Hobonichi. You've got the monthly spreads, but they're all in the front. Whereas when you have the Day Designer, it's more like what you saw in the Oring, where it'll have the monthly spread, and then when you turn the page, it's the days until you get to the next month. With the Hobonichi, you have the months are all in the front, and then you have individual days all the way through to the end of the year. And every single day has its own page. In the Hobonichi Cousin, which is the A5 size, you get an added bonus because you also have the week. The Hobonichi is one of the only planners that you can buy out there, bound planners that you can buy, that has monthly spreads, weekly spreads, and every single day has its own page. So if you're looking for something where you can have, you know, your entire monthly overview, then find, you know, be able to plan out your week on 2 pages, but then also have a daily page, then the Hobonichi Cousin is a good option. Another good option for you is my HB90 planner, which is just a printable planner right now. I don't have any bound versions of this yet, printed versions, but they are coming, hopefully for 2021 or later in 2020. But this type of planner also has monthly views like this. So you've got the monthly pages. Then you also have weekly pages where I have a weekly dashboard, the weekly overview that again is that vertical layout, and then every single day has its own page. So it has monthly, weekly, and daily. And those are often the main types of layouts that you'll find. So you have the months only, months and weekly spread on 2 pages, and then you have a few planners out there that will have either just the months and the days or the months, weeks, and days. So those are some of the main types of planner layouts that you will find. Another popular type of planner is a goal setting planner. So power sheets, for example, if you've ever heard of those, are made by a company called Cultivate What Matters, and these are goal planners. So in this particular type of planner, you've got all of this stuff to set up about yourself, like exploring who you are. Then you have like ways in here to like set up your goals for the year. And then instead of having monthly or weekly pages, it has basically your goal tracking for the month. Like one of the most popular parts of the power sheets is this tending list where you've got your monthly goals, your weekly goals, your daily goals, and you've got checklists to be able to check them off and track your progress. But in this planner, they never before had like a monthly overview or a week on 2 pages or anything like that. It's just purely for the goals. Now for 2020, they have actually added in the monthly overview, but you won't find any of the weekly pages. So I would call this now a monthly goal setting planner, and it is also arranged by quarterly goals. So here's an idea of a goal setting planner. A goal setting planner will actually walk you through how to set your goals, and it will have like questions and different things like that. Whereas if you just are getting, say, an Erin Condren planner, it does have a few things in the front that you can set up, like you've got this type of spread that you can put some goals in, but it doesn't have any like walk through questions about your life or anything like that. It's just the planner itself. So this will all come into play when you start deciding what planner works best for you. This Your Best Year that Lisa Jacobs used to put out was another goal setting planner that was specific for businesses or entrepreneurs. Now again, my HB90 planner that I developed for writers, but is really good for pretty much any type of entrepreneur, has the monthly, weekly, and daily pages, but it also has goal setting pages in the front that are mostly geared toward authors and writers, but it's really could be used by anybody because the goal setting pages will work for any type of career. So this is a hybrid planner, I would say, of a goal setting planner that also has a daily planner inside of it. So the HB90 system that I designed is a quarterly goal setting planner, and it is currently available for the current quarter, but of course we've only got like 5 or 6 weeks left in this current quarter, or it's available for undated where you just have to write in the dates yourself, or the 2020 Q1 version will go up on December 8th. So that's coming soon. Another type of inside for a planner is what I was talking about before, which is just purely dot grid or grid pages that people use for bullet journaling. Now, bullet journaling was originally developed by writer Carol. If you go visit Boho Berry here on YouTube or visit Amanda Rach Lee, who I absolutely love, you can see how they set up these pages. But basically the sky's the limit. A lot of people use them because they're artists and they love to really draw things in and set that up. I did use a bullet journal for a little while, so you can kind of see how I had mine set up. Basically, it starts out as these blank pages like you saw, and then you put in whatever you want. You can draw weekly spreads, you can draw daily spreads, you can keep track of your journaling, whatever it is you want to do. And if you like this weekly spread for today, you could go, next month and try a different type of weekly spread. So it's highly customizable, but it is also very time consuming because you have to figure out what you want to put inside of it. None of the structure is there for you already, but the possibilities are endless. And if you are an artist and you love to draw things in and you want to be able to completely customize what's inside this planner for yourself, bullet journal is another really good option. And all you need to buy is just a plain journal. And of course you can use it in a bound journal like this, but you could also do a bullet journal in a spiral notebook or in a binder like this. You could just get grid pages and put them in here. So bullet journaling is extremely customizable if you want to do that. But hopefully this has given you an idea of at least the different types of planner bindings and the types of content that is out there. Of course, I couldn't cover every type of planner because I know there are probably thousands of different types of planners. There are spiritual planners, there are journaling planners, there are goal setting planners, there's academic planners, there are content planners to help you plan your content for your blog or your YouTube channel. There are business planners that focus more on the financials of things or like tracking. So there are hundreds, if not thousands, of different types and brands of planners on the market. But this will give you hopefully an idea of the most popular types of planning in terms of the binding and the content. Now, when it comes to like vertical, horizontal, hourly, you can find that in just about every type of binding. You can find an hourly printable planner or a bound planner for your bullet journal, or you can buy it in an Erin Condren coil bound, or you could find it in an O-ring. So what we're going to talk about in my next video is how do you choose out of all these different options? How do you choose the right planner for you? Which binding is right for you? What type of inside is right for you? And what types of questions should you ask yourself? And I'll give you some other tips for how to discover what type of planner is going to be right for you without spending a bajillion dollars. That is all I have for you guys today. I also wanted to mention, if you're interested in it, I do have a goal setting class that comes with the free HB90 printable planner for Q1 of 2020, where we are going to plan out your entire quarter, and you can use it over and over again to plan your entire year. It's called the HB90 Bootcamp, and it is coming up in December. Registration for that course will open on Sunday. In that video, I will give the announcement and put the link down below, but make sure that you're signed up for my list or subscribe to this channel if you're interested in that course. It's really a cool course, and it's information and a planning system that you're gonna be able to use for the rest of your life. So if you're interested in that, make sure you're subscribed. Go ahead and comment down below and let me know if you're excited for the next round of boot camp to open up, and make sure that you check back on Sunday to get the link for where to join the course. All right, guys, that is all I have for you today. I will have an entire series on this, as well as some giveaways. Like, I'll be giving away this bullet journal as well as an entire pack of things that go with it, like pins and washi tape and things like that. I'll also be giving away an Erin Condren monthly deluxe planner, another bullet journal, and more. So there'll be lots of giveaways coming up in the next few videos. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.